Hey, welcome back to the channel, folks. If you're new here, welcome. Glad to have you. So, what do I mean by perfect and their imperfections? Well, hang around, folks. This will all make sense. So back after World War II, GIs were coming home, and a lot of them brought bikes back, and a lot of them just bought bikes that the Harley was selling off. They had an abundance of that didn't sell to the military. And in the 1950s, I think Harley realized that companies like S&S were increasing their business. They took the imperfections that were inherent in some of the old bikes, because they really didn't develop anything new during the war. They realized that, wow, it kept the Harley Davidson name on everybody's lips for one thing. But it also gave them something to do. And these guys love working on their bikes. So they saw what it did for business. S&S was probably a big part of that, big part of the history. And then during the AMF years, you know, it's not that the design was very bad with the shovel head. In fact, it's a pretty good motor, but the implementation was crap. And companies like S&S, the aftermarket, would sell the parts to make that motor right. And they realized that the aftermarket was a really important part of their business. And there is kind of a psychological component to this. And that is the fact that you can personalize it, it's your own. But there's kind of more than that. Harley's never been known for a perfect motorcycle, and I think it is on purpose. Now, I don't know if they intentionally did this or they stumbled upon it. I happen to think they stumbled upon it and just took advantage of it. But I could go out and I could buy a brand new Indian Pursuit. I could buy a Honda Goldwing, Touring, everything. And they're both probably perfect motorcycles. And probably, arguably, much better than their counterparts for Harley Davidson. And that may be so. But you go out and you buy one, and then what? Well, you ride it, and keep it for a year. And then I think you kind of get bored with it. The aftermarket for these motorcycles is not what it is for Harley Davidson. And I think even the CVO guys have this same mindset. I'll get me a perfect motorcycle. And to me, that's the argument. Why didn't I buy an Indian? Why didn't I buy a Honda Goldwing? They're perfect motorcycles. Well, that's the problem. They're perfect, and there's nothing else to do. I'm sorry, that would bore the crap out of me. I love the fact that my Road Glide had imperfection. Quite frankly, I have got a sheet of things I've done to this motorcycle. And, you know, the wife's going to be mad at me, but I am not done yet. And what do you think that does for the Harley business? Is that brilliance? Or do they just fall into that? And it's probably a little bit of both. And it's not just men who like to tinker with the bikes. There's a lot of women out there too, but I think they have the same mindset. They could go out and buy perfect motorcycles, and they don't. Because I think there's nothing more boring than a Honda Goldwing. I'm not saying it's a bad bike. I'm just saying, give me 6 months, and I have to do something with it. Okay, I'll change the seat. All right. There's a couple little aftermarket parts. But that's just not the mindset of Harley people. And I really think that's what keeps Harley alive. It's the whole mindset of aftermarket. I know it does in the used market. Although Harley will be getting away from it probably in the next 5 to 10 years with all the new technology, and they know that the aftermarket will always be there for their older used bikes. But I think they'll be taking a turn with this new VVT technology. But why do I love my Harley Road Glide? Well, it is totally imperfect.